straight into the roof of the net. Nice one. Straight down the middle. So a good performance from both teams.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, cricket's newest sensation and one who the world is raving about. Who is Mayank Yadav and what has he established in a world where pedigree rules the roost? When we speak of pedigree, can Cristiano Ronaldo's name be too far behind? The hat-trick man delivers for his Saudi side. Can he and will he allowed to do the same for Portugal come the Euros? Sticking with football and superstars, here's one whose Spanish dark humour, dry wit and sarcasm is just as fantastic as his footballing genius. What makes Pep Guardiola a watchable guy on and off the field? Stay on for this, but first, Sports 360. Singapore has reportedly opted out of hosting 2026 Commonwealth Games. They say they cannot host the Games. The Commonwealth Games Federation is struggling to find a new host. Earlier, Malaysia opted out of hosting the 2026 Commonwealth Games, citing financial concerns. And last year, Australian state Victoria too decided to withdraw its bid due to soaring costs. Over in cricket, Sri Lanka beat Bangladesh by 192 runs in the second test to seal the series 2-0, chasing 511 to win in the fourth innings. Bangladesh were bundled out for 318. Sri Lanka's Kamindu Mendis was the player of the match for his all-round performance. Cricket's Big Three, Board of Control for Cricket in India, England Cricket Board and the Australian Board are reportedly in talks of reviving the Champions League T20 tournament. The T20 League was last played in 2014 and was won by India's Chennai-based franchise. The club-based tournament saw the participation of the top T20 teams from around the world. Disgraced former Spanish football president Luis Rubiales was detained on his Spain return for over corruption investigation. Rubiales is suspected of receiving illegal commissions while negotiating a deal to hold the Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia. And the All India Football Federation, or AIFF, has suspended Executive Committee member Deepak Sharma for allegedly physically assaulting two women footballers in the Indian state of Goa. The two footballers accused Sharma of assaulting them on the night of 28th of March. The Goa police arrested Sharma on Saturday and an FIR has been registered. There's something about sheer pace, the rawness of it. It's absolutely breathtaking, first off. The sight of anything fast and supersonic speedy because it's untapped, unmolded and unhindered. Innocently dangerous. In cricket, they say the sight of a massive six or the most graceful cover drives perfectly executed is magical, almost godly. But nothing comes quite close to the most perfectly nailed Yorker that has gone past the defense to break the stumps with the sound that can bring a whole stadium to its feet and gasp. That's the beauty of Mayank Yadav. All of 21, sheer pace, the most perfectly smooth action. Gold chain flying, fists pumping. The whole of India is hailing a sight of pace coupled with accuracy that they have not witnessed since Jasprit Bumrah burst onto the scene. You can tell if you watched cricket and have been wowed by the West Indian fiery bowlers, the fire of Babylon fame, the Ws as they used to say. Or if you, like I, were born a little later, you saw some of the Aussie bowling greats led by Glenn McGrath, the tenacious South African pace led by Alan Donald and Dale Steyn, or the Pakistani fire-breathing Lankies led by Akrams and Wakars and the Imran Khans of the world. Nothing beats the sight of pace. And not just pace, controlled, accurate and lethal pace. That's what makes a fast bowler a deadly fast bowler. That's what makes Mayank Yadav truly a dangerous Mayank Yadav, the youngster that cricket world now is raving about. India's Virender Sehwag, who knows a thing or two about facing the fast bowlers, says Mayank is that X factor for Lucknow. He says what impressed him most was his accurate line and length. Ian Bishop, West Indian cricketer, who probably has the authority to stamp his remark on a fast bowler for obvious reasons, calls him the child of the wind. That's his moniker now and truly fits. And here's why. He's broken the speedometer in this tournament. He bowled the fastest delivery this season, 156.7 kilometers per hour, that is 97.3 miles per hour. He basically broke the record set by himself in his first match against Punjab, where he clocked 155.6 Ks or 96.7 miles per hour. And if you look at the top speeds in the league overall, Mayank Yadav is not too far behind some of the fastest, snapping at a record set more than a decade ago by someone like Sean Tate. So who is Mayank Yadav? Some snatches of reports say his father, Prabhu Yadav, struggled to find a place that would take him in to train because a family of very modest means implied all coaching centres were far too expensive. And then he finally managed to send his boy to a centre in Delhi where they see the talent that he is and decide to invest in him. This boy is meant for big things. How the late Tarak Sinha, known to unearth and groom talent, spotted him 6 years ago. How his childhood coach Devendra Sharma alongside Tarak Sinha encouraged and saw big things for this tearaway youngster that Mayank Yadav was. Now all of 21, bursting with energy and the prospect of making it bigger of what it all could lie ahead. Mayank Yadav is stealing the show at the T20 League. 2 Player of the Match awards is no joke. That's 2 out of 2 in successive matches. His first 2 matches on the big stage. Talk about hitting the ground running. The last match in particular, he took out seasoned men like Glenn Maxwell, Cameron Green and Rajat Patidar to completely derail Bengaluru's run chase. His figures of 3 for 14 absolutely stupendous. And after that performance, he says he has only just started, and he says it with a bit of a smile. Look at him, that boyish, almost disarming face. If you are a batter in any other team, that is the deadliest weapon running down to bowl nearly at 100 miles an hour at you. Now, I started this story talking about speed being so beautifully and innocently dangerous. If that had a face, it would be Mayank Yadav. Clearly, it isn't just his boyish looks. There's got to be some charm in there because I'm showing you some snapshots of him receiving that cap ahead of that first game, and his teammates are all hooting and clapping and egging him on. Clearly, he's a favourite, a dressing room friend, someone they love to see do well. And what a team to turn out for too. He has Justin Langer, an Australian who knows a thing or two about fast bowlers, has been around some of the best during his time as player and coach. He'll be a great mentor. Vijay Dahiya, who's also part of the support staff, the former Delhi cricketer, reports say he recommended the franchisee to invest in this player a couple of years ago. I remember seeing a clip of Mayank Yadav asking Brett Lee how he could manage and maintain that pace for years to come. And he got advice from the best in the business, someone who himself has been searing fast through his career, and he got an answer too. This is what former Aussie pacer and a geocinema expert for the Indian Premier League had to say.
What I would say to Mayank is get out of the gym. Don't worry about lifting heavy weights. You know, light weights is good, but you need that lean muscle mass. The shape he is now is perfect, so I would work on sprint training. The faster you can run, and the harder you work in training, so work at 100%, 10 metres further than your natural run-up. So when you get into a game at 85% running in, you feel a lot more comfortable. But lean muscle mass is the key. Biceps are good for the beach, but if you want to bowl fast, lean muscle mass.
He has Moni Morkel in the support staff, again someone who's sure to guide him well, having come so himself for the South African side, and another youngster with just as much enthusiasm and pace in Shamar Joseph. In the wings. What a time and place to be in. The surprise is not that the league is throwing up a youngster. That is what it has done year after year. Whether it was Devdutt Padikkal one year, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Avesh Khan, Riyan Parag, Rinku Singh, even Mohammad Siraj. But what makes Mayank Yadav special is that he owned the stage, the big, bad, overawing international stage from the word go. It's not easy to get cracking from the first ball when the whole world is watching. That's the hunger to perform, combined with the skill and frame. Rare. Did you hear it too? T20 World Cup is calling. Cristiano Ronaldo, the goal-scoring machine, or should I say the hat-trick scoring machine, because one goal doesn't seem to be enough for the Al-Nassr captain. If he scores one, it has to follow with another 2. That's how it's at least been in recent times. This is Ronaldo's 65th career hat-trick, and it came against Abha in the Saudi Pro League. Ronaldo's 3 goals and 2 assists ensured Al-Nassr hammered Abha 8-0 And wait, there is more. This was Ronaldo's second hat-trick within 72 hours. The man is unstoppable. It wasn't just the number of goals Ronaldo scored, it was the fashion in which he netted them. They weren't just normal tap-ins. 2 of them were free kicks, reminding fans about his good old Manchester United days. Not the second spell, which ended on a sour note, but the first under good old Alex Ferguson, where he used to score free kicks for fun. The 39-year-old says he isn't done yet. He looks good to compete with the current 20-year-olds. He has scored 29 goals this season and is in no mood to slow down. And with Euros just a couple of months away, his current form will give Portugal a big boost. Who wouldn't want an in-form, red-hot Cristiano Ronaldo in their setup? He took Portugal to Euros 2024 glory in 2016 and even the Nations League title in 2019. So yes, Ronaldo is key to Portugal's fortunes. Or is he? Now, those wins came years ago. Portugal hasn't had any success in the recent past. Even in the 2022 World Cup, Portugal were knocked out of the quarterfinals. In a game where Ronaldo came off the bench in the 51st minute, coach Fernando Santos faced a lot of backlash for this decision. But even he said he had no regrets benching Ronaldo. And even in Portugal's friendly against Slovenia on the 27th of March, despite Ronaldo's inclusion, Portugal lost the game 2-0. A story that Ronaldo fans do not like to hear, but let me just say it. Ronaldo in club versus Ronaldo for country doesn't paint the same picture. But numbers will back him up. With 128 goals, he is, of course, the highest goal scorer in international football. But in recent years, Portugal hasn't been completely dependent on Ronaldo. And the star player too hasn't had the same impact at the international stage. Since 2022, Cristiano Ronaldo hasn't had a prolific outing for Portugal. In his 22 appearances, Ronaldo has managed to score just 13 goals. Safe to say, Ronaldo hasn't been the same beast at the international stage. A sentiment shared by his own teammate, João Cancelo.
He is an important player and spent 15 years competing with Messi for the Ballon d'Or. But the peak of a footballer's career is between the ages of 25 and 32. He is an important player for us, but the national team does not depend entirely on him.
Now, it isn't just Ronaldo's recent international form, but also the arrival of young athletes who have pushed the bar. The biggest of them all, Gonzalo Ramos, the same Ramos who started ahead of Ronaldo in the World Cup quarterfinal. In his limited stint for Portugal, Cancelo has scored 8 goals and assisted on 2 occasions, and that too in just 11 matches. So he's had a goal contribution in almost every game, which makes him a great prospect for Portugal. And with Euros being the litmus test for players, the upcoming tournament in Germany will be key, because Portugal will be up against top brass in England, Germany, France, Spain. Now the World Cup, maybe 2 years later, but the Euros and what happens will pave way for the World Cup too. So Portugal have a hard task ahead of them. Do they continue to stick with the legacy and what they know comes with the name, or work on a future plan? Ronaldo shows he's far from being done, but does he fit into Portugal's game plans, or should he be merited an automatic selection just on the basis of his stellar club performances? An answer that Portugal and its manager Roberto Martinez need to make. There aren't many things that Pep Guardiola cannot do. He's won Champions League titles in different countries. The Spaniard can rally his troops around his finger to create magic. But we aren't talking about his footballing genius here today. We're reserving that for another one. Guardiola is many things, a hard taskmaster, genius at work, and clearly quite the funny bones too. Not the rolling on the floor slapstick humor. He's Spanish after all. And with Spanish genes running through, it's no surprise Guardiola relies on the black humor. Like recently when he was asked about his heated conversation with one of his players, Jack Grealish. Pep Guardiola says that's just for his ego and of course for the cameras. This isn't the first instance of Guardiola's sarcasm shining through. We thought we'll get you a bit of a compilation of Pep Guardiola, the man, the legend, and his deadpan comments.
Does he not need to be around the team in meetings and that kind of thing? But I guess if you didn't know he was there...
Oh, before it's I'm going one day to Paris. Okay, it's here, but Hong Kong is far away.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going... I have to install Instagram in my account.
Yeah,
to
it's pretty useful.
Because I don't know. Really, I don't know.
Pep Guardiola, manager of a football team, and not just any football team. It's one of the most prestigious clubs, Manchester City. And that deadpan expression is his trademark when it comes to delivering dialogues. Guardiola is a beast on the field. Animated. Ready to pick fights with referees and opposition managers. A colourful character. A manager who brings that extra edge, that extra spice to any contest. And the fun isn't just restricted to his on-field antics. It's a field day at the press conferences. Like when he was asked recently what his heated discussion with one of his players, Jack Grealish, was all about.
No, I'm the famous person of the team. And I don't recognize, and I need the cameras to my ego go to sleep with incredible satisfaction. So that is the reason why. So always I try to criticize the players there and let them feel that how bad they are, and especially when Erling scores 3 goals, the compliments has to be with me, not with them. That's why I use the cameras to do it there. So my advice next time, don't film us, it will not be a problem.
He doesn't just kill that question with his sarcastic remarks, alluding himself to being a bit of a megalomaniac too, but almost fell short of telling the journalist to do something better than ask a drab question. Guardiola's Spanish wit-back humour at its best is unsurprising, and he does enough on the field to get the camera zooming in on him anyway, so really tough luck telling them not to film him. With all his yelling, arguing, jumping, excitable gestures, and on occasions talking to himself in the dugout, all while sitting on the sidelines. Guardiola is a walking, talking film that you can catch anytime City is on, with popcorn and a beverage to just pass your time. Guardiola is unabashed on the football field. We've seen enough instances of that. And just as cavalier off it, no holds barred. It comes in his DNA. Like when he called Calvin Phillips fat, that he had gained some pounds. It created a massive uproar. The player came out months later to say that he was hurt. That should have elicited some apology from Guardiola, right? Oh, the apology came, but not without a hint of sarcasm in it. He said, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Once in 8 years is not bad, but I'm so sorry. I apologize to him." Typical Guardiola, almost telling his player to grow up and lose those pounds. It's football we're playing, and Guardiola's jibes are not just reserved for players and hapless journalists quaking in their shoes while asking him questions. International federations are at the mercy of his endless wit and charm too. Listen to this.
We'll not watch the games. We'll rest, and when they arrive on Thursday, we'll see which players survive or not. So I don't know. Hopefully, yeah, it's a wish. So it's difficult sometimes in that period. Give all the players away for friendly games when we're part of the decisive part of the season. So, but schedule is a schedule.
Or what about the time when Dani Alves, yes, the infamous Dani Alves, who's out on bail now, once claimed that Guardiola's coaching is better than getting intimate? Let's pause for a nanosecond to just reflect on the irony of this statement. Yup, done. And then show you Guardiola's response.
I prefer the sex.
Burn. Guardiola's sarcasm is incredible. Like when Zlatan Ibrahimovic said he didn't think Guardiola could make Erling Haaland any better. His ego won't let him. And Guardiola snaps right back with due diligence. No prep required. He says, he's completely right. In this club, my ego is beyond every other person. I don't like it when Erling scores goals. I'm so jealous. I said, Erling, please, no more goals, otherwise the newspapers won't talk about me. Yes, Ibrahimovic is right. He can write another book. I probably didn't deliver this with the punch that Guardiola brings, but you get the picture. Classic Guardiola delivers the dialogues and keeps that stoic expression to bring it home. And we simply love it. They say humour is often a way to say the truth. And Guardiola's added sarcasm and that dark humour charm nails it every time.
Time for last serve. Mumbai may have had a poor start to the T20 league this season, but they sure look like they're in the right spirits and still got the smiles about them. They've restarted their age-old tradition of punishing the latecomers to their activities, meet and greets and sessions. The disciplinary action is meted out while the team is travelling to another venue. Take a look at the unique punishment and the latest culprits. Just waiting for that positivity to translate on the field as soon as possible. But that does it here on First Sports. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care.